Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art with Mrs. S. Today we're going to be using perspective, but we're going to be drawing some snowy mountains. And to do that, we're going to focus mostly on changing the size of the mountains and other objects in our drawing. To get started, I'm going to start out with a horizon line. You can have yours going up closer or maybe further down towards the bottom of the paper like mine. And that's just going to give me a nice base part of some land, and then I'm going to start building up these mountains and plants and animals and other wildlife. So I have my horizon line, and I'm going to start in the front here with a small mountain or hill. You can put yours anywhere you'd like. I'm going to add in a few more, and notice there's overlapping placement where I'm putting the mountains, and then changing the size of mountains too. So these ones in the front, they're more like hills. They're very rounded. They'll be grassy or maybe covered in snow. And then these ones in between, I'm going to start changing the size a little bit and then also kind of alter the shape. As I'm building up and overlapping, making sure I'm not going over top of those that I've already made. I'm just going to keep going along here. You can have some mountains or hills pointier than others. You can have some stretch higher or taller than others. And then as I'm showing that perspective, I have these mountains and hills that are closer to me. And then now I'm getting to those that are further away. And again, I know that because they are getting smaller as they get further away. They're overlapping, and then where I place them on the page. Now I'm going to only add a few more here, and then I'm going to start adding in some details and patterns. I think that's good. If that's not enough, I can always go back and add more as I start drawing and adding those designs. So these patterns, a lot of these patterns will be a great way to add some snow-capped mountains on there using some lines. You can use like curved lines or zigzag lines, wavy lines. If you want them to be spotted or polka dotted, you can have various layers on your mountains. Or maybe some won't have any at all. You can add in things like driving paths. Maybe you want to add a little car on there. Maybe you want to add in other plants. I have this whole area down here that doesn't have anything. I could add in a tree or a bush or some other type of exotic plant. There's going to be a lot of details in this little bitty space. Don't forget about the sky too. Maybe you want to add in a sun or a moon. Maybe you want to add in some planets, or if you want to make the northern lights or some stars. But don't leave the sky empty. Even if it's not very big, you don't have a lot of space, make sure you still add something up there. I'm going to put kind of like this galaxy going on up here. Put a few stars and planets, and I even have the moon. Something else really nice to add, I can add in these little trees that are more like a silhouette so that I can see really just how far away these mountains are. So if I'm adding in this little tree, a really easy way to add in a pine tree, it's all zigzags, and I'll color that in later. I can have some over here, but look how small these little trees are. That's showing just how massive these mountains are and how far away these little trees are in my picture plane. It's showing lots of perspective. Don't want any flying trees. Make sure they're touching those mountains. It could be a little bigger towards the front here, but these mountains are still really, really far away in the picture plane. Now the last thing I'd like you to do after you've done the sky, your patterns, your mountains, other details like your trees and plants, the last step, there's some images at your space. There's going to be some animals that are all a silhouette or just their shadow and their outline. And I'd like you to add a couple of those into your artwork. And I see one right here. I'm going to add in, looks like a fox. I'm just worried about the outline. A fox is going to look really close to like a dog or a cat in the outline, or it could even look like a possum or a raccoon. But you can add other things too. And then of course I'm going to color this in, and it'll be all one color, probably black. It's going to look kind of goofy. And then I'll color that in too. You could do wolves, bears, bunnies, deer, anything like that will be really a nice touch. Owls, and so many more. Now I'm about done. My next step, I am going to do a little outlining, and then I'll save this for later to add color using some watercolor paints. Thanks for joining me today. I can't wait to see your snowy mountains.